In an unprecedented ruling that has sent shockwaves through the real estate industry, Donald Trump's real estate empire has been hit with a corporate death penalty. This extraordinary judgment came from a Manhattan judge who found that the Trump Organization had committed widespread fraud, a verdict that has left the business world aghast, and the real estate sector in particular, on tenterhooks. The ruling, as severe as it is, involves the dissolution of the Trump Organization. This means the company, as we know it, will cease to exist. The immediate cancellation of corporate licenses, a direct result of this judgment, is an action that has not been seen in the industry in recent memory. But the Manhattan judge's ruling doesn't stop there. In a move that further underscores the gravity of the situation, the judge has appointed a receiver to manage the assets of the now defunct Trump Organization. This receiver, an independent entity, will be tasked with the gargantuan responsibility of handling the assets left in the wake of this corporate dissolution. The magnitude of this ruling cannot be overstated. It is groundbreaking, earth-shattering, and above all, unprecedented. It's a judgment that has the potential to trigger protracted legal battles that could span years. These battles will not only involve the Trump Organization, but could also ripple out to touch other entities within the real estate industry. And what of the future of the Trump Organization? With this ruling, it is set on a path that could potentially reshape its future in ways that were unimaginable before this judgment. The years to come are uncertain, filled with legal battles and an uphill climb to regain the stature it once had. This groundbreaking judgment is set to trigger years of legal battles and could potentially reshape the future of the Trump Organization. The immediate aftermath of this ruling has seen a civil penalty of over $450 million and a 3-year ban from the New York real estate industry for Donald Trump. This is a blow that resonates far beyond the courtroom, reaching into the heart of the Trump Organization's operations. One of the key aspects of this ruling is the 3-year ban from borrowing from banks and financial firms registered in New York. This might sound like a minor detail amidst the grand scale of the fine, but it's a detail that carries significant weight. In the world of real estate, borrowing is as essential as the land itself. The flow of funds, the access to credit, the ability to leverage assets is a cornerstone of this industry. A ban from borrowing can be likened to a bird banned from flying. It fundamentally disrupts the way business is done. However, while the decision is undeniably severe, it isn't expected to deliver an immediate knockout punch to the Trump Organization. The company isn't going to vanish overnight, as some might expect or hope. The Trump Organization is going to exist, said Evan Gottlob, a partner at law firm Saul Ewing, and a former New York City prosecutor who focuses on public corruption and white-collar investigations. It is going to be hamstrung, but I think it still exists. The Trump Organization is a behemoth, an entity that has weathered numerous storms. It has endured through controversies, financial crises, and now a ruling of this magnitude. It might be limping, it might be hamstrung, but it's still standing. Even with this resilience, it's worth noting that the ban on borrowing could prove to be the most damaging part of this ruling. It's a blow that strikes at the very modus operandi of the real estate industry. For real estate development, you need access to money, Gottlob said. Without that access, the Trump Organization could find itself in unfamiliar territory, navigating an industry without one of its most essential tools. The real estate industry runs on borrowed money, and the 3-year financing ban could prove to be the most damaging aspect of this ruling. As the dust settles on this unprecedented ruling, it's clear that the landscape of New York real estate has been irrevocably altered. The repercussions of this decision will be felt for years to come, long after the immediate shock has faded. Despite the heavy blow dealt by the ruling, the Trump Organization has already announced its plans to appeal. It's a move that signals defiance and determination amidst a storm of legal challenges. It's a reminder that the world of business, much like a chess game, is full of strategic maneuvers, counter-moves, and an unyielding will to win. Now let's delve into the mechanics of this appeal. The appeals process is not a swift one. It's a complex legal journey that can stretch over weeks, even months. It's a time of waiting, of strategizing, of preparing for the next round in this high-stakes legal bout. But what about the execution of the ruling during this appeal? Well, that's where the concept of a stay order comes into play. A stay order is essentially a pause button, a legal timeout. It suspends the decision from going into effect during the appeal. So while the wheels of justice keep turning, the impact of the ruling is held at bay, giving the Trump Organization a breathing space, a moment of respite amidst the legal tumult. Yet, even with a stay order, the implications of the ruling hang heavily in the air. The ban on borrowing from banks and financial firms registered in New York, the fines, the dissolution of the company, these are not small matters. They are serious, potentially crippling blows. But they are also challenges that the Trump Organization is prepared to face head-on. The path forward is clouded in uncertainty, but one thing is clear: the Trump Organization is not going down without a fight. It's a battle that goes beyond the courtroom, beyond the headlines. It's a battle for survival, for reputation, for legacy. And whatever the outcome, one thing is certain: this is a fight that will be remembered in the annals of business history. This historic ruling not only impacts Donald Trump and his organization, but also raises questions about the future of the real estate industry in New York. The Manhattan judge's decision, if upheld, aims to temporarily ban Trump and his 2 adult sons from New York's real estate industry. This ruling, unprecedented in its scope and magnitude, has sent ripples through the industry, leading to questions about its future. But the implications extend far beyond the Trump family. The ruling also raises practical questions about how to untangle the Trumps from their web of business partnerships, existing lenders, tenants, and investors who own bonds that finance their properties. This intricate network of connections is a testament to how deeply entrenched the Trump Organization is in New York's real estate landscape. In an industry that thrives on relationships and partnerships, the ruling could lead to a significant reshuffling. Existing business partners may now need to reconsider their alliances, and tenants may find themselves dealing with new management. Investors who finance Trump properties might have to navigate the uncertainty surrounding their investments. Furthermore, the ruling could also potentially deter foreign lenders with registered affiliates in New York from associating with businesses linked to the Trumps. The decision also extends a court-appointed monitor's oversight of the Trump Organization to at least 3 years. This is no simple undertaking considering the sprawling business dealings of the Trump Organization. The monitor has already identified 415 distinct business entities tied to the company, many relating to borrowing entities and licensing and management agreements. This is after reducing the number of entities from around 500 during the trial. One thing is clear: the commercial real estate business in New York is set for a shakeup. As Will Thomas, assistant professor of business law at the University of Michigan's Ross School of Business puts it, the commercial real estate business is messy and complicated, and this ruling has just added another layer of complexity. This ruling could fundamentally change the way business is conducted in New York's real estate industry. With a court-appointed monitor set to oversee the Trump Organization for at least 3 years, the future of the company is uncertain. The task ahead for the monitor is nothing short of Herculean. Trump's business dealings are notoriously complex, a tangled web of partnerships, lenders, tenants, and investors. As the monitor begins to navigate this labyrinth, they will have to contend with a staggering 415 distinct business entities tied to the company. Yes, you heard that right, 415. This is no small task, and it's worth noting that this number was reached after a significant reduction from the initial figure of around 500 entities identified during the trial. It's clear that the Trump Organization, with its multitude of entities and convoluted structure, is a far cry from your average mom-and-pop operation. It's a sprawling empire, built over decades, with roots reaching deep into the very bedrock of New York's real estate industry. It's also important to remember that while the court-appointed monitor will have significant oversight, they will not have total control. The Trump Organization's operations will continue, albeit under strained circumstances. The company will be hamstrung, but not completely immobilized. However, the 3-year ban from borrowing from banks and financial firms in New York could pose a serious challenge. As Evan Gottlob, a partner at law firm Saul Ewing and a former New York City prosecutor, noted, "For real estate development, you need access to money." With a financing ban in place for 3 years, the Trump Organization's access to this lifeblood of real estate is severely restricted. The future of the Trump Organization hangs in the balance, but one thing is certain: the commercial real estate business is about to get even messier and more complicated. The ruling against Donald Trump's real estate empire is unprecedented, and its implications far-reaching. As we've explored in this video, the Manhattan judge's ruling has dealt a powerful blow to the Trump Organization. The civil penalty, amounting to over $450 million and a 3-year financing ban, has cast a shadow over the future of the organization. Yet, it's important to remember that this isn't a knockout punch, at least not immediately. The Trump Organization, while hamstrung, is expected to continue existing. The appeal process, as we've discussed, is set to take weeks, if not months. The Trump Organization has already voiced their intent to appeal the ruling, calling it a gross miscarriage of justice. As the appeal unfolds, the decision won't go into effect thanks to a stay order. This ruling is historic in nature. Trump, who inherited his real estate company in the late 70s, has seen his personal life and business dealings frequently become tabloid fodder over the next 4 decades. The ruling, if upheld, seeks to temporarily ban Trump and his 2 grown sons from New York's real estate industry. The practical implications of this are complex, raising questions about how to untangle the Trumps from their web of business partnerships, existing lenders, tenants, and investors who own bonds that finance their properties. As for the future of the Trump Organization, it's clear that the road ahead is fraught with challenges. The court-appointed monitor's oversight extends to at least 3 years, and getting a handle on Trump's sprawling business dealings won't be a simple undertaking. The commercial real estate business is indeed messy and complicated, with around 415 distinct business entities tied to the Trump Organization. As we wait for the dust to settle, the real estate industry, investors, and the Trump Organization brace themselves for an uncertain future.